Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a pre-Christmas celebration of engineering and joy and Adafruit and 3D printing and tronics and all sorts of other good stuff. It's our weekly Ask an Engineer that we do every single week that we've been doing for 6 years, and we're doing it again every week. It's me,
right.
Lady Ada. I'm the engineer
That's
that you're
right.
asking. And with me is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control. We are here at the Adafruit factory. You can see
That's
behind
right.
us, which is its own character. Just like they say, oh, New York City is like a character in the movie. The Adafruit factory is a character.
That's right.
And I've got an exciting show for you tonight with all sorts of pre-break goodies. People showed up on the show and tell, lots of demos, lots of new products. Let's tell them what's on tonight's show.
Yeah. Okay, on tonight's show, the code is Motor Feather. It's a tongue twister. Motor Feather. All the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tonight.
Motor Feather sounds like a really good like metal band.
Motor
Feather.
Yeah.
Motor Feather. What?
It is a band, I think, now.
Do do.
It's a domain name of
Motor
the band.
Feather.
It's already registered, trademark. Okay. Show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects. Pack the Mailbag's going to stop by. Adafruit Jobs Board. Time travel. Wearables. 3D printing. Pi News. New products. We're going to answer your questions. We're having a trivia question. All that and more on Ask an Engineer.
Doot doot. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're not traveling to our family places. We're
Yeah.
here with you.
Yeah, so...
Because I'm Jewish. I don't know where to go.
and I was abandoned. So...
So we're here.
Motor Feather is the code, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, gets you 10% off. We're not venture funded, no loans, and I have to say, because it's that time of the year, we were able to do bonuses for our employees.
Yes.
And we were able
They were
to...
higher this year than they were last year.
Yeah, they were higher.
Everybody got more.
Everybody got more, and it's a big deal. We're very transparent with how our numbers work here at the company, and we'll keep doing this for our staff and remote team members and all that, as long as we keep doing it. Lady Ada and I don't do what other, I guess, company owners or executives do, which is try to extract all the value out of something until it dies. We just keep it back in, and we like growing the company and having more space and giving opportunities to people and seeing them grow their careers. So that's what we do.
Sweet.
Yeah. So your purchases help us do that. So if that's the type of company you want to see in the world that does that, that's what you're supporting when you buy electronics from us. And the best part is, I'm completely ruining it for anyone in the future who has our roles and has something. If one day if we retire, they can't go back on it because they're going to go and they're going to say, no, I remember Christmas Eve. Phil
2015.
and Lamore said.
Epic.
Phil and Lamore said that they want to have opportunities for people to grow, and they don't want it to be like a regular company that you always hear about, where they only like one executive gets all the money.
And for example, they go to jail because they don't pay people minimum wage properly.
Yeah, all those things.
For example.
All those things that you hear about companies out there that they don't view their employees as people that they can grow with and be part of it. They view them as raw materials. And so we're really proud of the team that we have here and everything we do. So in case you're wondering, that's where the money goes. We actually give it to the team members here.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So.
Which is good.
Okay. And no going back on it either, because it's...
Well, it's good.
Live
We
online.
have also the Adafruit promises, right? Which is no. It's topical. We actually don't have any Christmas tree kits. We can never have Christmas tree kits.
Yeah.
Blinking Christmas tree kits.
Okay.
No Facebook ads. No Twitter promoted sponsor, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember it all, but we posted about it. Last Thanksgiving. No spam.
Okay.
No being lame.
All right. So let's keep moving. If you want to, we have the free deals going on. We're going to probably keep doing this for a little bit longer. It's adafruit.com/free. We have different tiers: free UPS ground, Perma Protos, trinkets, and trinket pros. That's cool. And then we still have same day. I think this is pretty much it. If you're in New York City and you're looking to get same day, I think you could probably pull it off tomorrow, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
I don't even. Are they even running? I assume they are, but gift certificates. Gift certificates work all the time.
Yeah. So, anyways, programming note. This is Ask an Engineer every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Show and Tell, which we just did 7:30 p.m. And we've been doing the Desk of Lady Ada, which is pretty cool.
We're rocking out like 2 or 3 a week.
Yeah, last night on the Desk of Lady Ada, one of the things that I thought was amazing is you started out with the ESP32, which is a new beta module.
It's actually the ESP31B.
31B. And
which
then,
is the beta of the 32.
Yeah, and then you soldered it up, and then you got it running. And that was over the course of 1 hour live on YouTube and live on Twitch and Periscope and Meerkat. And there's nothing like this hardcore engineering that you're doing out there. There's a lot
This was fun.
There's a lot of talk, but there's not a lot of engineering. And so I thought that was cool that you showed the process start to finish.
You know what the secret of engineering is? Actually,
What is the secret?
I know
You're going
the
to tell the secret right now?
I'm going to tell the secret. One, your USB devices are our best. So like reboot and check your drivers, because like 99% of problems are USB drivers. Second, the data sheet's not always right. And like the instructions, it's not like, I'm following the guideline, and like it's like half it was kind of like, not wrong, but it was kind of like not correct-ish. And sometimes not trusting, not quitting or like giving up just because you're like, oh, I tried this thing, it didn't work. I mean, like you have to kind of figure out your way through it. That's kind of the secret.
Okay. So that's what's going on. I'm glad you told the secret. I feel like you've said the secret before, though.
Maybe, but I have said sometimes life doesn't give you a data sheet. But
Yeah.
do check out the Desk Lady Ada. It's live, unscripted, raw engineering power, which means once in a while I have to like reboot my computer or like install a new cross tool or whatever. It's like it's actually what it is to do engineering. It's not prettied. It's not edited. It's live.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, show and tell. This week, we had people around the world showing and sharing their project. My favorite half an hour every single week where we get a chance to see what people are making. What did people show this week, Lady Ada?
I'm going to tell you all about it because I wrote it down. Usually we start off with Tony D, but Tony D is actually traveling. He'll be back maybe next week. He will be back on Wednesday. We're going to have a special edition of, we don't know what it's going to be called, but it's going to come from Desk Lady Ada plus Tony D. We're going to do something cool. So check that out. If you miss Tony Nicola, I miss him. But we did have Noah and Pedro who showed off a custom Pi Girl gamepad PCB that they're designing. They want to make the Pi Girl, the original one, a little bit better because the Pi Model B is being discontinued. So they want to do one with the Pi 2, and so they're like, let's learn PCB design. So they did learn PCB design. They sent the PCB out to Osh Park. They said they're going to get it in about a week. And they also made a 3D printed version using conductive ink and like wood fill, which is kind of neat. Next up, Sally made this beautiful dress with starfish on it. And there's these sheared starfish. It's like a sash with 68 neopixels and a teensy, and it's just beautiful. And check it out, because she's really doing the most gorgeous wearables. And I really love how sculptural her art is. Richard had a laser cut curio cabinet. Laser cut TIE Fighter model, which was really cool, in honor of the Star Wars. And then he's working on making a laser cut Millennium Falcon next. So he showed us the pieces, and it's a Millennium Falcon. And he also had these really neat Christmas LEDs set up, and they're NeoPixel. And he had our Blue Fruit app, and he was controlling like how festive or like normal, I guess festive or less festive or normal color, whatever. You changed like LED effects basically from
cool.
crazy blinking to a more calm LED effect. And of course we had Krampus come by. Krampus, who is the evil being who is works with Santa. He punishes the bad kids or the bad adults, as it may be.
He said that the challenge was the kids are basically okay. It's the adults that are
a problem.
Total jerk faces.
So yeah, he's got
something happens to kids where they kids are usually pretty cool.
I mean, they're kids. They don't even know enough to.
Yeah.
I mean, other than little monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he has a bundle of sticks. He shows the bundle of sticks.
Yeah.
So he's a maker. He makes kids cry.
Yeah.
And he beats them with the sticks. He has these chains, and I guess he rattles his chains. And he's got a basket, and he tosses the naughty kids in his basket. And he's got this long tongue. And he says every time he eats a baby, the tongue gets a little longer. So watch out for Krampus. Be good. Get gifts. Not good, get Krampus. Actually, it was an amazing article if you search for Krampus carvings. I'm just remembering it because it's from a couple months ago. The New York Times did an awesome video about people in Germany, these men and women in Germany, who are bringing back the craft of Krampus costumes. So it's actually very makery history. So nowadays you can buy a costume, you can go like a Halloween costume, but historically they were carved by wood, and they would take sheepskins and they'd make the costume, and you couldn't join the Krampus parade unless you had handmade your costume. So they showed the skill that they made. It was really beautiful, and these costumes were amazing and really scary. Anyways, but back to the good people of the show and tell. Phil Moyer came by, and he's working on an autonomous rover using 2 Mega 256 zeros. They communicate to each other with serial, and he's got all sorts of sensors, light, sensors, humidity, temperature, GPS. I mean, I couldn't even keep track of the number of sensors, and he wants to put on a 6-wheel drive robot and add a lipo to it and a solar panel, and he's going to check back when he has done more. Roberto showed off his Java haptic motor driver tester. So he made a really cute little GUI for testing out the DRV 2502 haptic motor driver. It's one of the cooler motor drivers we have in the store because it drives little vibration motors, and it like actually makes effects. So instead of just like buzzing, it actually has like ticks and rampings and like sinusoidal effects, and you can kind of have a haptic interface with them. Lon came in and showed off a non-electronics project. Well, he had his really cool steampunk hat with the LED in it, but he made a doll coffin for his friend who has a Draculaura doll, and she wanted a coffin for her doll, so they made a really cool coffin, and it was really goth, and I like it. And it's gonna have like pink plush in it. And then C. Scott came in, just showing off his Chrominius cases. He's gonna wrap up the Chrominius and send them off to people. He showed off the power supply that doesn't suck. He said it sucks a little bit. He connected the negative rail of his 741 to the wrong side of his current sense resistor. Happens to all of us, so it doesn't quite measure the current sense. He doesn't sense the current quite right, but he's going to fix that, and then he will have the power supply that doesn't suck. He also talked a little bit about his overheating pass transistor. And then he also showed off a project his son made, which was a little LED spinner, and it used a 555 that he bought when Star Wars first came out, the first one.
Pretty cool. Yeah,
like in 77. So date code is 7734, so this was made in 34th week of 1977, and his 555 still running. I mean, he turned it on, it's like blinking, and he's like, this transistor, these 555s, they were made to last a very long time. Transistor level logic, you can pretty much do almost anything to it except like throw it in the dumpster, I guess, and then you'll never find it again. But they're very, very rugged, and so he's just showing off how he actually has an heirloom 555, which I think is cool.
Okay. All right, all participants on the show and tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. To get on the show and tell, just go to google.com/plus Adafruit. Look for the show link on the post that we do that's there every Wednesday, and then show up there at 7:30 because we have so many people in the show and tell we have to post a link to it. That's how many people there is. We've hit the limit.
It's popular.
We've hit the limit, so that just means.
But we'd love to see you.
Yeah, and that it's actually easier this way too, because you have to wait for the invite, and there's so many people, it takes a while. So now, if you're around and you're waiting, you can just click the link and get into it. So that's.
It seems to be working out great.
Yeah. Okay. Mailbag. This is Pack the Mailbag. Pack the Mailbag reads letters. We read these to the entire company every single week, and we also decided to start reading them to you, the viewers. Hi, Lady Ada. I would like to thank you for the free, well-written Arduino lessons you offer on your webpage, ladyada.net/Arduino. That's old school cool.
Actually, it's funny. Somebody was asking me about that. I'm going to redo them.
Yeah, it's one of the foundations,
it's the foundation
of learning electronics about 10 years ago. Those things set the pace.
I know, it's been so long. It's been like 6 years, 7 years. So
no, it's like a historical area of the internet. There's like a little rope, and they're like, here is where people learned Arduino.
But you know what? It's still good.
Yeah.
For loops and if-def, and it's all the same.
I thoroughly enjoyed getting through them and believe they've given me a firm basis and plenty of enthusiasm to continue working on some projects that I'd like to make. A Voctector, for instance. Kind regards, Jasper. Thanks, Jasper.
Thanks, Jasper.
Appreciate it. Okay, next up, Adafruit Jobs Board. If you're looking for a job, or if you should just get a job, this is one of the places that you can get a job if you're a maker and you have skills, or if you're a company looking for a maker with skills. Here it is. This one is, that's my phone ringing. This one is a software engineer. Why don't you ring that while I put this on? Yeah.
So this one is at Radiator Labs. This is a hardware and software company, and they're making radiator heating systems. It's actually pretty cool because a lot of the power that's not wasted, but used in the house comes from the radiator. And if you want to make sure that your radiator is really efficient, it doesn't overheat, because it's like some people like turn on the radiator and then they open the window. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
So by working at this company, they're trying to improve how radiators work. We're using Cozy, which I guess is an enclosure, and maybe it's a smart enclosure. I don't know exactly how it works, but it does Zigbee. Oh, okay, it works with home network systems. So if you want to reduce the amount of power used in the world, which would be good for us, so please do that. And you know a little bit of firmware, a little bit of hardware, a little software. Check this out. It's in New York. You get equity, you get pay, you get healthcare and dental. That's sweet. Hardware in Brooklyn.
Okay. Alrighty, next up. It's a big deal. It's a big day. 900 tutorials.
900. You've been like, how many tutorials? I've been like 872, and then you're like 886, and then it was like 995, and then finally 895, 900. We're actually up to 901 now, I think, or 902.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
All right, so we're gonna be up to 1,000 soon.
Any day.
Yeah, and that's kind of neat.
Probably about like 3 months.
The latest ones that we added this week. This is
the Sandblaster Buggy. This is an amazing tutorial, and he was even kind enough to send us one. This is from Rick Winscott. This is like a beautiful 3D printed buggy, and it's awesome. It has these little tail lights. So these are just like, I don't remember the name of them. It's a Cox International Sand. I've seen these dune buggies, and so he made a 3D printed version 1, and it uses a Metro Mini to control it. And then on the underneath, it has 2 micro servos, a little battery pack, and then the steering is done with another servo. So instead of differential, like by having 2 wheels, it actually steers. Well, it probably can do that as well, but it uses the front servo to steer back and forth. I can't remember the name of that kind of steering. And then it has a little boost converter, and it's just like the most adorable thing. It's really amazing. I never quite thought that 3D printing would get to the point of being so good that you could 3D print basically a toy. This is basically as good as you would get in a store. So check out this tutorial if you love 3D printing. A little bit of a tough project, but it seems quite doable. And you get these little wheels on buggy.
Yeah.
Has a little sensor on the front too.
All right, next up, this is a tutorial that just made on the site. We're gonna be playing the video, so you don't have to go too many details about this, but this is the Raspberry Pi
Let me tell
LED
you why
matrix.
this is cool,
Yeah.
because technical is a little humble. So what's really, really cool about this is he wrote a little widget that basically reads the frame buffer of the HDMI display. Like you read the memory, and then you display that onto the RGB matrices. And so you basically just run your Pi as normal, and you have an HDMI display, and whatever's on the HDMI display will automatically get echoed onto the LED matrix. You don't have to worry about like actually hand coding anything. If you want to play like a video game or a movie or whatever, or like display an image, you just do that on the Pi, and it will automatically mirror. So it kind of like, it's kind of awesome because it makes it so easy to set up these displays and have them do something. So he has he just shows how to play video games, which is really neat.
Okay. And next up.
I'll show the video. This is Starduino from John Park. It's a cute, John Park is just like the most adorable person.
Making the Twitter rounds, people really like this.
This is so cute.
Yeah.
So it's a 3D printed like 8-bit star from like Super Mario Brothers. You know the star, you get it, and you get like all that superpower, and you get to like all the Koopas. You get to bop them. So he did this, and he has a ring, a NeoPixel ring, and he basically just makes it flash so it looks like it's that star, and he put it on top of his tree. And it is the most adorable tree topper, and it's called Starduino.
Okay.
I think it's a gemma or trinket or something.
Up.
Feather Holiday, like another one from Coca-Cola. This is a project he's been working on for a little bit. This uses a feather, either blue fruit feather or like everyday feather 32U4. He made 2 versions. One has a proximity sensor and a color sensor, so when you put something up to it, it will read the color of that object. So it's like he has some presents that are wrapped in like green and blue paper, or red paper, and it will change the lights of his little Christmas tree. And then he also made a version that's Bluetooth controlled, and you can change the lighting effects over Bluetooth using the feather. It's so easy.
Okay, and we have a video. One thing though, before I wanted to go on to the next thing, the name of this type of steering, Phil B knew it. It's Ackerman steering.
Ackerman, thank you.
Yeah. I've never seen him and Krampus in the same photo. Anyways. All right. So let's go on to the video that went with the feather.
This is the Adafruit Feather Holiday Light Project. You can build festive holiday lights that are powered by Adafruit's Feather boards. Adafruit Feathers are tiny Arduino-compatible boards that pack in all the same features of larger boards. The 32U4 Feather uses the Atmel ATmega 32U4 microcontroller, just like an Arduino Leonardo or Adafruit Flora. With a proximity and color sensor connected to the Feather, you can make holiday lights that change their color depending on what's held in front of them. Just hold up a brightly colored present to change the color of the tree lights. The Bluefruit LE Feather has a Bluetooth Low Energy module connected to it, so you can control it directly from a smartphone or tablet. Use the Bluefruit LE app for Android or iOS to change the color of your holiday lights. Look in the description below for a link to the full guide on building your own holiday lights with Adafruit's Feather boards.
Okay, time travel. Look back at makers, hackers, artists, engineers, people who have broken through to the other side, did something cool. So this is neat. I'm gonna.
Oh, Ramanujan, he's written like all of the good algorithms.
Yeah.
He totally took all of them.
So here's the thing, and I don't know if you knew this. He was kind of self-taught with his mathematics
No, I didn't know that.
knowledge. Yeah. So he did all of his work in isolation, and then people are like, "Whoa, like you're really onto something." And that's when all of the algorithms and things that are still being proven correct came out.
Yeah. No,
So-
and if you learn anything in math, I mean, like his name comes up a lot.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. He just
Yeah.
did so much.
So,
And he looks dapper.
Yeah, so the way he got his results were original and highly unconventional, and the theta function, and his work. One of the cool things about it, if you read the Wikipedia articles and everything, but if you look at some of the history of mathematics, his stuff that he came up with started new branches of research in mathematics.
That's cool.
So he scratched the surface on something bigger. And it's kind of beautiful, the math that he did. So anyways, happy birthday, Indian mathematician and theorist. All right, next up. Wearables. We have a celebration of the 2015 Wearable projects. When you look back, we had a year.
Epic.
Yeah, I was on Wearables today with Becky Stern. That's
Yeah.
the name of the show, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. And one of the things I said is, I'm calling it, 2015 was the year Wearables finally became popular. Popular enough for the idea that Wearables is the lead story to go away, and the stuff that people can do. So Wearables was on The Daily Show. Zach Posen used Flora and NeoPixels, and that wasn't the lead story. The lead story as a fashion designer is doing wearable electronics.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, this was my analogy, when computers first came out and 3D printers first came out, it's like, oh my gosh, a 3D printer. Oh my gosh, a computer.
Yeah.
And that
what
was
can you do with a 3D printer?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And
What is Wearables good for? Now it's just, they are.
when something becomes really successful, you don't think about the technology, you think about the stuff you can do. Like, we're not sitting here marveling about how a computer is running the show. We're like doing video, and like it's the show is more.
It's in the background.
Yeah, it's in the background. So
It's a tool.
So I think people are going to look back and say 2015 is when it started, and it started because of fashion, because of cosplay, because of the combination of 3D printing, and a lot of it is because of the work that Becky did at Adafruit, and a lot of the work that just is starting to hit places that you don't expect. I think cosplay was the big one. When people are able to build anything that they see in their favorite movies or comic books or fantasy stuff, that's when you know it's more than just a hobby. So let's play this
Yeah.
video.
All right, let's see the history.
Yeah. That was Wearables 2015.
That's a lot of wearables, a lot of LEDs.
Yeah. All right. Next week, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern is taking a break because it's the end of the year. However, we're probably going to have something going on. We'll see how it goes.
Jessica Lady Ada or something.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're going to have Tony DeCole in. And
Maybe we'll have one from
we'll see.
Adafruit.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
cool.
see. So normally, though, every Wednesday at 2 p.m. we have Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. So pop by anyways, but of course the week after we'll have Wearables. Next up, 3D printing. Okay, just when you thought you were safe from a 2015 wrap-up, oh no.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more wrapping to be wrapped.
So I think for 2015, when I think about, well, what do you think about when you think what happened in the 3D printing world for you, not for everybody else, for you in 2015?
Well, I think that the 3D printing market really stabilized. I think it was really kind of nutty in 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
There was a new 3D printer every 5 minutes, and it was just it was really hard to figure out what was going on. And I think that the big players in the market have kind of solidified. Definitely a couple winners. The 3D printers have gotten a lot easier to use. There's a lot of really interesting materials that came out, which I thought was cool. There was a lot of materials hacking, and people doing. I saw people actually doing stuff with 3D printers, not just printing out the demo rabbit, which is cool. I love the demo rabbit, but making molds for their soft robots, or designing stuff for injection molding, or we did the conductive plastic. And we actually made something that was a fully 3D printed tool that had conductivity in it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of slowly getting towards the like with wearables. It's no longer just a novelty. It's actually a tool.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is my opinion.
I agree. I think the more interesting thing in 3D printing are the people in the projects.
Yeah.
If you're upset,
yeah, they're not. It's 3D printers are not exotic.
Yeah. If you're obsessed and only celebrating the physical 3D printers, you're losing out. Because the real story, the real interesting thing is the projects that people are doing and the people involved. Anouk with the 3D printed plus fashion that she's doing. I think that
Nervous system, they made the kinetic dress.
Yeah, and big winner in this space, Ultimaker.
Yeah, and Simple Metal.
Yeah,
and Simple.
And Printerbot.
Or Printerbot. I can.
Yeah.
It's called the Simple Metal Printerbot, but it's the Printerbot Simple
And
Metal.
I don't think anyone would have guessed 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago would have been the first, that MakerBot really isn't a player in the maker scene right now. They're trying to get back in, new leadership, they're trying stuff, but they have a bunch of work ahead for 2016 if they want to get back into the maker world. And we had their leadership team here, or some of them, we gave some suggestions. Whether they'll do it, who knows? The maker market is an interesting one. We think that's the one that they can look at because that's where the projects and the people are, especially if they're trying to play in that $2,000 desktop range.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here's a wrap up. 3D printing.
It's pretty
That was
epic.
cool. Yeah, again, it's about the people in the projects.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, now we're tweaking the heated bed again. Like,
Oh, my thermocouple doesn't work. Like that was like a lot of 3D printing. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Next up, video. Okay.
So cute. So that's part of their new time-lapse Tuesday attempt.
That's when Adafruit was in a smaller apartment. We had a very small tape.
Very little tape guns and
Tape
little
guns.
packages we sent.
Yeah.
One little kit inside of them.
Okay. You know what's amazing is on a regular basis now, we ship more in one day than we did in a full month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ship more in one day now than we at the first year.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not ship 1,000 packages in the first year. We ship about 1,000 packages a day. Actually, we were
Yeah.
shipping 1,300 or 1,400 a day.
We ship out more than that.
with the Pi Zeros.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So Thursday, tomorrow, you're off, everyone. Congratulations. You don't have to worry about missing 3D Thursday because we're off tomorrow. You'll see
So
the video posted
3D print
up.
something you love.
Yeah,
Instead.
so you can print out something. But we'll return next week, I think. Okay, next up, Pi Day. So for Pi Day, we have a special video. It is the Matrix video that we talked about
Technicolor.
from almost tutorial number 900. It was up there. It was like 8.
It was actually $8.99.
Oh, 899.
And then 900 was tied between the Starduino and the Feather, the Bluefruit Feather project. So
Okay.
Technicolor did get number 900. He just got it.
Okay. All right,
Next one.
here we go.
This is the Raspberry Pi LED Matrix display project to build a large LED display that's driven by the video output of a Raspberry Pi. Play your favorite classic video games, watch a movie, display a dashboard of data, or anything else you can imagine using bright and beautiful LED displays. These display panels come in square and rectangular sizes, so they're perfect for stacking together to form a large display. Use the Adafruit LED Matrix hat to interface with the display panels. The hat has built-in level converters and convenient power distribution that makes building a display as easy as plugging in panels. You can even chain together multiple panels to build a large display without a huge mess of wiring. The software for this project will copy what's displayed by the Pi's HDMI video output and scale it to be shown on the LED panels. You can run games or other applications without any changes to make them show on the LED display. There's a link in the description below to the tutorial on Adafruit's learning system so you can build your own LED display.
Okay,
Okay.
and
That's your
we'll
Pi Day.
have some Pi posts on Friday, as usual. Okay, before we get new products, Lady Ada, the code is Motor Feather.
Motor Feather.
Yeah, so if you want to continue to support a company like Adafruit and see it in the world and these shows and all that, pick up an electronic kit and more and get 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m.
And freebies.
Eastern time. Yeah, and freebies. Okay, let's do new products.
New, 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 new.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm gonna have a song for the new product section, but I'm not.
It's not really a song. I don't even.
No, I'm just gonna have you.
I was like jamming out.
I'm just gonna have you say it. Okay.
New, 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 new.
All
Okay.
right. So what do you got this week?
This is kind of new. This is with the starter kit from the. Okay, no, sorry, I'm spacing. Chibitronics. Sorry. For the Chibitronics starter kit, if you pick up a starter kit, we now include a intro kit, so you can give it away to someone, and it comes with 3 LEDs, some copper tape, a battery, and a clip. So basically, it's this really adorable little LED lighting kit, and you know the starter kit has a lot more to it, but you get a little freebie with it. So I don't know, it's a good reason to pick up a starter kit. I just wanted to bring that out there. It's as adorable. So I don't know, like ages 9+, give this to someone as a gift and keep this starter kit for yourself.
Okay. What's cool about the next thing is we have a little video.
Zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yeah.
I also have demos, so I can actually show demos.
Yeah. So we've got all of these printers now.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about them, and then I'm going to show them all at once on the overhead, okay?
Okay.
So this is, we've had thermal printers, and now we have more thermal printers. This is a mini thermal printer. It's smaller than this kind of standard one we have. You can see how small it is by a lovely hand model. And this one is actually kind of cool because not only is it compatible with like the old thermal printer code that we have for our other thermal printer, but it also supports USB. If you plug it in, it shows up as a USB COM port. And so if you want to use it with like a Raspberry Pi or like a BeagleBone or even just your computer, you just plug it into USB and you can just use our Python code. So it's like kind of the best way to use a computer with a thermal printer. Uses 33-foot long paper rolls, which we have in the store as well. And you can see it does all sorts of like font sizes and line spacing. You can do barcodes. You can do graphics and QR codes by basically making it into a graphic.
Okay. So
that's the mini one.
So next up is...
Okay, so after that, this is like the teeny one. So this one is like the smallest thermal printer you can get. It can only hold 16 feet of thermal paper, but it works just like the other thermal printers I showed. It's really, really small, and it has only one cable. It's super cute. Like if you want to make something that has a printer output and you really want to be as small as possible, this is the one to use.
You can make like a wearable printer with this.
This is like wearable size. I mean, this is basically what you would see in like, a handheld that like prints out receipts or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it uses very small rolls of paper. I'll show that in the demo. And then lastly,
okay. And then next up, I'm going to show another video.
this is the thermal printer guts. So this is like the innards of a thermal printer without the enclosure.
Yeah.
So you have to like put in the paper in yourself by like feeding it in. However, one of the nice things about this is that it's extremely small because it has no other parts to it. It's like the smallest possible. And it's you got this flexible thing. It's very configurable. But you have to make your own paper bay or something to hold the paper.
It's smaller than a credit card.
Yeah, it's very small. Here I can show a photo. This is the printing head. And so, you can even extend the wires if you, so wished. It has a kind of a flex connector. And this you can use any size paper with, but you have to make the bay yourself. But we thought this would be kind of interesting. Maybe you want to 3D print, the case, and you'd have the paper in the roller bay.
Okay.
Okay, we also have some paper that comes with it.
Yeah.
33-foot long and 16 feet long. So this is what you need to fit inside the thermal printer. So let's go to the overhead. And I'm actually going to show. So this is our standard thermal printer. This is kind of what, if you have purchased thermal printer from us in the past, this is what you got. And then, the paper went in the bay here. So then we have, hold on, grab these printers. This is the mini one. So this is the one that has the USB connection. And it's a little bit smaller, so you can see it's half the size-ish. And then this one is the super teeny one. So this one you can see is, maybe like a 30% smaller than the smaller one. And it's like a quarter of the size of the teeny one. Let me move my Arduino over so you can see how much smaller it is. So for wearable projects, we've seen a lot of people make portable projects. Like we saw somebody make like a camera. And it would you could take a photo and basically it was like a Polaroid. It would print out the image. And they were using this and it was just like huge. And like the photos they were printing out were very small. Or like if you're printing a little portable like haiku maker, you can get away with a much, much smaller printer.
Okay.
And then, wait, I'm not done. Sorry. This is the printer guts. And so this is just, this is, basically what's inside of here, but there's no enclosure. And so you have to, you basically have to remove this little rubber piece and feed the paper through, and then you can close it up. So, you can either use really, really long paper or really, really short paper, or, you can actually have a paper in a loop. Like there's no reason why you can't. And then you just have the control board here. So these are, various options. I just thought I do have a little demo I can just show of this printing. I already had it print some stuff, but I'll just show the bay. So this is where the paper sits. and then you close it, and then I have the example code running on the Arduino. So it shows you about how fast it can print. It can actually print a little bit faster. I'm using little delays in between. It just prints out very nicely. It goes a little bit slower when it's doing graphics. And barcodes, because there's a lot more, it has to slow down to really heat up the paper. And then let's finish these graphics. The graphics, it does print a little slower, because it has to
One of the
really
things
go
I
over
like
pixels.
about what we're doing with these little printers is there's so much confusion out there. Like, you can't even effectively do a search online, because like search for printer, thermal printer, there's just a billion things. And so I think this this cuts the confusion down, and there's a library for code.
Yeah, the library where we have worked on it for so long, and so it's really solid. And what's really neat is that they all use the exact same code base, so you can prototype on this one and then move to a little one, because it's like annoying to keep replacing the paper. So if you're like, oh, I have to do a lot, this takes 50 feet, and this takes 16. So as long as you just have the right size roll, doesn't bind, you can just use any thermal paper, really. That's, I think, 2 1/4 wide. And that's the thermal printers.
Okay. Next up,
I'll put these away.
you've got
Okay. This is a little USB Wi-Fi dongle, and what's neat about these is it uses the RTL8188EU chipset, which is kind of a new chipset. So it's actually a little bit faster than kind of the standard RTL8188 CUS, I think. I don't remember the exact part number. The one that usually people use with the Raspberry Pi. This one is Raspberry Pi compliant. It works with Linux. We tested with Jesse. It works great. And it works with Windows 10 IoT. So if you're using Windows 10 IoT, it used to be that you could only use the official Raspberry Pi Wi-Fi dongle, which if you have it, it's great, but it doesn't work on other computers. It's kind of really for Raspberry Pi only. Once I've had this Wi-Fi dongles, it works with like Mac, Windows, Linux, Windows 10 IoT. It's kind of useful for everything. And so I thought that would be good. So now we have 2 options for people who want to use Wi-Fi with Windows 10, which you probably do. So check. It only works with the November 2015 or later release of Windows 10, but plug it in and get an IP address, and you're ready to rock.
Okay, some stars of the show here besides you. This is the Adafruit Motor Featherwing.
Motor Feather.
That's why we have that code for tonight. And here is a video. That's what it does.
Yes. So this is. Oh, I just realized I didn't bring any tape with me.
This is why we have the.
You have the video.
Yeah.
But I can still kind of show a demo, anyways. This is the Motor Featherwing. That is basically like if you've ever used the Arduino motor shield that we designed, the motor shield we designed for Arduino. This is basically a squished down version. We basically took the same design, squished it down, used a transistor that's just smaller. It drives 2 stepper motors or 4 DC brushed motors. So you can either use like 2 steppers, 4 brushed DC, or 2 brushed and 1 stepper, because you basically get 8 total H bridges, so you can kind of like mix and match. This shows it using with a motor, 2 steppers. You can do single, double, micro stepping. What's neat is because the PWM is all done over I2C, you can do like full motor control even with something like the ESP8266, which doesn't have like enough pins to do latching and the PWM and everything, and you don't have to worry about constantly setting the PWM speed. It's taken care of for you by this PCA chip that kind of does everything, which is really, really sweet.
Okay.
So I can just show it. I can actually show 2 demos.
Okay. Oh, the other one, because we have 2 things going on here.
Oh, you want to show both? Okay, let's just show.
Because then I have a video for this is the servo
Okay.
motor. Yeah.
So we also have the servo
Bing,
wing.
bing, 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 bing.
So if you like the 16-channel servo driver we have, you'll probably like this. It's basically that board, but made to work on, as a feather wing, works on any of our feathers. And again, also uses I2C and stackable with the stepper motor driver as well. So if you want to use motors, steppers, servos, whatever, you can mix and match all of them together.
Yeah.
It also uses I2C, and you get 8 servo channels. We didn't have enough space on the board for 16, but 8's still a lot. And if you really need more, you can stack 2 of these together.
Yeah.
So there they go.
Okay, and let's go to the other end.
Okay.
You had something you wanted
So
to
yeah,
show.
this is, I just am showing it. So the feather wing, if you solder on stacking headers, oh, sorry. If you use stacking headers, you can basically just stack this on top. This is a 32U4 feather wing. So this is just a kind of standard Arduino compatible. And you can plug it in, and then basically, get your motors. Oh no, I think I unplugged the power. Hold on.
I'm going to go try to plug it in.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Uh-oh. Yeah, 1 second. Oh, well, I'll just quickly do it.
All right.
Sorry, just one
While Lady
second.
Ada looks around for plugs, I'm going to go over some of the cards we got this year. We got this nice card.
Yeah, it's got unplugged.
Yeah.
Oops.
This is from iPixel LED. We got this card. That was very nice. We got this from DigiKey, which has a CD in it. And what's cool is I need to find a CD player. So DigiKey sent us a CD. And then UPS, the card from UPS I really like because it has a little UPS truck, beep, beep. And then here's a Mauser card. And then here's a Panda Vice card. So that was nice of some of the suppliers
you.
to send us cards. All right.
Okay,
Card back
back
over.
to action. Okay, so you get these two steppers, and they're rotating lovely. So it just shows you it's very easy. You just have to give it 12-volt power to make sure your power is plugged in. And you're rocking. You can drive any DC or stepper motor that uses about 1 and 1.2 amps per coil. That's a lot for a stepper motor, and it's also a fair amount for a DC motor. And I can do 3 amps peak. And there's like Excel stepper and other libraries if you want to do ramping and stuff. So that's that demo. Hold on, let me unplug this. And then I've got the servo demo. So you've got all these like servos all over the place here. And then this is 12-volt power supply, and I want to grab my 5-volt. Sorry, 1 second. This is the 5-volt power. Got it. So you want to power your servos with 5 volts. And then power the board. The board does get powered separately. And that's because you want to have your motor power supply be separate from your logic power supply. So you can power the board from a LiPo. If you really want, you can power them from the same 5 volts, but it's not really suggested. And basically, it's just a servo party. And
Yeah.
you get jitter-free servo control. And so that's kind of nice.
I think next year we're going to be able to help people with robotics. I think doing robotics is kind of crummy.
It's a little difficult. And then for my final demo, there's also a little bit of, it's not out yet, so don't ask. We've got this little robot. So this is a little robot chassis we're going to have soon.
Oh.
But
I didn't know
inside,
you were going to show this.
no, but it's part of the demo.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying robotics for makers. When I was writing at Make,
Yeah.
I kind of didn't like robotics because it was always crummy, but everyone's like, oh, you should have something about robotics. And it was just like, yep, it's expensive and it sucks.
So let me
And
just remove
so,
this.
and so now we can kind of focus on the good stuff, which is it's going to be easy and it's going to be low cost because of stuff like Feather.
The hardest part is just keeping a grip on your screwdriver. Don't
Yeah.
flip out of your hand. So let me remove this top piece here so you can see this better. This is a cute little top that you can just mount more stuff onto if you want to have sensors or whatever. Okay, so this shows you've got a Bluefruit Feather. So it's got a Bluetooth Low Energy module over here, and it's powered off of a LiPo battery, and then it's got that motor wing that you saw before. So it can control up to 4 motors. Right now I'm only doing 2 motors. I have 2, they look like servos, but they're actually DC motors in a servo body. And it's got this little wheel that just lets it spin around. And then you can basically make your own.
So you're going to control this robot with the Bluefruit app?
I am, and it's probably going to run off of the table, so whatever.
Yay.
So I start up the Bluefruit app, connect
So this is what I'm talking about.
to controller, and then I don't remember if this was, yeah.
Yeah, this is cool.
So you can,
Okay, one, the robot's fast, and this was a really easy project to put together. And this wasn't that expensive.
so you can have it rotate, and
All right.
then, oh wait, I'll have it, whoa. I'll have it rotate the other way, and then back up a little bit. Okay, I think I hit something. Hold on, let me reconnect. Also, I probably should have made this with 2 battery packs, so it's not just
So the whole thing is.
so it doesn't have it all running off one battery, because I don't know if the battery is really good enough to do both.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, you can
Now's
make
the time to have fun.
make your own little Bluetooth robot. Basically, just use the motor
Yeah.
wing, and I have it on a doubler here, but you could stack it on top. And then probably what I'll do is I'll grab like a AAA battery pack, like a 3 AAA battery pack, and then drive the
Yeah.
servos off of that, and then have a smaller LiPo that I tuck underneath here. That's just for the Bluefruit Feather. But we were in a
Yeah.
little bit of a rush today. So.
Yeah. I think it's going to be neat when, like, you know, in schools, robotics is expensive and hard, and it's old, and you need a giant computer to mess with it. I think it'll be interesting when schools could potentially have kids with their phones, which are supercomputers, control a low-cost, Featherbot.
Yeah. I like the Featherbot. It's cute.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's got a nice little
All right.
red
And with
chassis.
that, Lady Ada,
So that's a demo.
is the new products. That's it.
Yay.
You did it. Congratulations.
Now you know what it's like.
That was new products. All right. Well, here we go. The code tonight is Motor Feather.
Okay. All right. Thanks for bearing with my
10%
demos.
off
Fun
all the way
time.
up till 11:59 p.m. Folks, it's question time. Ask your questions.
I'm
to Lady Ada.
ready
Yeah.
for questions.
Someone had a question that we can't answer because it's not out yet. It's about the chassis.
Can't talk about it.
We
huh?
can't talk about it, so we can't answer that question. Oh, someone wanted to know about this DigiKey CD. This is
It's music.
it's music, and it's
It's like
if you go to digikey.com/CD.
it's like etudes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some classical music, which I can't read from here.
And may we celebrate together the many reasons to be thankful for our association this past year. We wish you a joyous holiday season and New Year filled with peace, happiness, and prosperity. And this is from DigiKey.
Thanks, DigiKey.
Okay.
Yeah, DigiKey and Mauser have like custom cards.
Next up, the questions are coming. Will 2016 be the year that DIY electronics, kits, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, BeagleBone, Feather have a presence on television, adverts, features, and science type shows? I can answer that one right now. The answer is yes, and it's been happening. So shows like Mr. Robot, high profile, any sci-fi show, we spot our stuff. I see our stuff on a regular basis. I try to take a screenshot. The issue is most people are starting to watch videos online. And
Yeah, they don't even watch TV.
and that's where you see a lot of stuff. But any science fiction, we tend to see our things.
I definitely see Arduinos all the time in projects or
Yeah.
stuff with robots or the future or electronics.
Yeah. How hard is the coding for the app? I assume they mean the Bluefruit app.
It's really, really easy.
Yeah.
We have example code for the Bluefruit. The app just runs, and then on the Arduino IDE side, we have a library, and you basically just run it, and it tells you like this button was pressed, this button was pressed. You just say
Yeah.
like, if this button was pressed, go forward. When
Yeah.
it's released, stop going forward.
Okay. What's the best way to get started in robotics right now? Or should they wait?
They should wait. I actually don't. I mean, we sell like a Pololu bot that's like an all-in-one ready-to-go robot,
Okay.
and that can be kind of fun if you want to just build something that is ready to go. But you can pick up continuous, and we also have the Parallax Bobot. That's also a really good robot
Yeah.
kit. So check out the Bobot and the Zumobot that we
Okay.
have. Those are pretty good, especially the Bobot. It's very educational.
Okay. Next up, is it possible to run the 32 by 32 LED panel off a Pro Trinket if you change pin number 2 to pin number 10?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe. Pin 2 is definitely not available. If that pin is used for the digital, like the RGB lines, no, you'd have to rewrite the code a little bit because that you need to have the pins be in a row. If it's an address, latch, or other control line, yes. But I don't remember off the top of my head which pin that's used for, what that pin's used for.
Okay. This one's from Jeremy. What are your thoughts on SpaceX landing and the advancement of technology and that achievement? I'll answer this
That's
one.
cool.
Yeah. So this, what SpaceX did, changes the economics of space travel.
Yeah.
From this day forward, it's different than ever before. It'll probably take a while for everyone to realize that this is the day that everything changed for
Didn't he say
space travel.
Elon Musk said he wants, once he got this landing working, he wanted to get a volcano layer?
Sure.
I think he said I deserve it. So
I
maybe
think
I'll
there was a
give
bunch of,
volcano.
I'm sure you have to come up with different goals if you're Elon Musk, but the economics of space travel has changed. So it just means a lot of the things that we all have wanted to do as a species involving space is probably going to be more possible than ever before.
And likewise, where did you and I see it? It was on like Meerkat or Parrot, it was on Twitter. Like people don't watch.
Yeah.
It's not live on TV. We watched it live on the internet.
And the other thing is, all of the space companies are customers of Adafruit. What they do with our stuff, we don't know. We don't care. But what we do know is the idea that someone can grow up and go to space or work on things that have something to do with space is so much closer.
It's
and that's really that's the big thing. Like we don't have the moon mission. There isn't the Russians that we're worried about. Now it's a little bit more personal, where why do you want to go and learn engineering? And you can look at SpaceX and say, that's a place I want to work at one day. That's something I want to do. So I think but beyond the economics of space travel.
Yeah, when I was in school, people were like, I want to work for NASA. Now it's like, you want to work for SpaceX. That's where the action's at.
Yeah, and there's going to be a variety of SpaceX-like things, because there is a billionaire space race going on.
That's a good one. I mean, it's better than them spending it all on,
all right.
I don't know, yachts.
Next up, what's Adafruit's plan for 2016? Well, we have lots of plans, but to keep it simple, we're going to
release more tutorials.
We're gonna
more videos.
Well, we're gonna give as much as we can, treat everyone with respect, and keep our values. And we're gonna try to keep doing this. So a lot of it's where the customers and the community want us to go. We want to keep making the best hardware and have the best customer service and be excellent to each other.
Best community.
Yeah, and our employees and their hopes and dreams are really important to us. So that's what we want to do. More of the same.
Okay.
And then some. Okay. Next up, are we ever going to do a video tour of the plant? Yeah, we have a few videos. If you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adafruit, you can look at the tour with the CTO of America, Megan Smith.
Oh yeah, that's a great tour. You get to see all of Fab, and most fun.
Yeah, and we'll continue to do more videos. We have a little 360 camera. We'll do that and more. Okay. Next up. Now that you're getting bigger as a company, can you negotiate cheaper shipping rates? Well,
Phil, you know all about that.
I'll tell you, I know all about that. So here's the thing about shipping. Someone pays for it. We happen to show you exactly the negotiated rates for your package.
Those are the rates we have are exactly what we pay.
Yeah, so if you're Amazon,
we have an API.
If you're Amazon, which is a publicly held charity that we all agree can give us prime shipping, that's different. It still comes from somewhere, and that one is they're sometimes operating at a loss, depending on what's going on. So we have the cheapest possible rates, I believe, for UPS.
We do have free shipping if you order over a certain amount.
So what you want to do, and when there's free shipping, we eat the costs for the shipping, but we figured out there's a certain amount.
Yeah, there's no such thing as
that's
free.
That's okay. Yeah.
People are like, oh, why isn't shipping free? And I'm like, well, it's not free. I mean,
it comes from somewhere.
You have to pay for it still, and if you want to have an idea of how much it costs to ship stuff, I recommend people go to the UPS.com site. And you can actually see how much it costs. Because people are like, how can it cost $10, $12 to ship something to California? And I'm like, you go to ups.com, you type in your zip code, and
what I would suggest,
and you'll find out it actually does cost exactly that much.
Yeah, and what I would suggest is go on Adafruit and on checkout, look at all the shipping costs, and then go to the UPS site directly and see how much it would cost as you as an individual, and you can get an idea. If something is like $15, it probably costs us $9 to ship.
Yeah.
And I can say for a fact, shipping isn't revenue that we count
don't count it.
or care about. We try to make sure that the customer is paying exactly what we pay. And more often than not, we're eating just a little bit always, and more often than not, we have things like the $200 tier.
Yeah, and this is not even including, that we have to insure the packages and we ship them, and if they get damaged, that's a totally separate thing that we also just cover.
Yeah. We don't do field trips and tours, but we do have videos, and we have the show and tell. We can't do visitors. We are a factory, so we can't do that.
Equipment.
Let's see.
Pallet jacks.
What's the best video camera for the Raspberry Pi 2 Model B?
The official Raspberry Pi camera is really the best you're going to get, and definitely for the price.
Okay. Some kudos for the job board. People like the job board.
Thanks.
Next up, can you reprogram the Bluefruit firmware to connect to each other?
I don't know. I know that we don't support, I think it's Bluetooth LE 4.2, which has the ability to do like master on the NRF51822, which I don't believe we support. You will have to check out the Nordic.com website. You may have to register and check out what firmware. I think that there might be firmware for point-to-point connectivity, but I don't know if that firmware is actually Bluetooth low energy compliant. So check Nordic, because things have changed very rapidly lately, where they are starting to do like multi-connectivity capabilities, and also you can be either the central or the peripheral. Right now we only do peripheral mode for the Bluetooth low energy. It will connect to any tablet, computer, or phone, but it cannot connect to other Bluetooth devices. That's kind of a different. You might want to check out XBs or something for stuff like that, where you want to have point-to-point connectivity.
Okay.
Especially because it's like Bluetooth isn't a super long range.
I'll answer one, and then
Okay,
I will give you the last one to answer. Then we're outie. We'll give away. So someone wants to know, what do you think of the Google Cardboard VR? I think it's a good start because there's a lot of things that people are going to start doing with VR, and no one probably wants to buy a separate device. So putting your phone in and having low-cost ways to view it is cool. I think with the 360 video that we just posted, I think on YouTube, you can view it with Google
really?
Cardboard
That's cool.
and look around. Yeah, and I'm going to do some more later. And then the last one, this is for you. What inspires you, Lady Ada? What's your inspiration?
My inspiration is all the people in the community, especially the people who show up on the show and tell and show off their awesome projects. I love to see when we post people's projects, and I know that, hey, that person was just a beginner a couple of years ago, and now they're designing their own electronics, their own PCBs, their own 3D printed stuff. That is inspiring, and it makes me want to design more cool stuff. So I can hang out with y'all. Be
Okay.
cool.
All right. And with that, those are the questions. Thank you, everybody. All right, we're gonna roll right into trivia. All right, Lady Ada, what are the rules? And what do you want to give away?
The rules are, if you've won anything before on this show, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. And I'm not dead yet, although it's been difficult lately. And the first person to type in the correct answer in the chat, whichever one, YouTube, Ustream, Twitch, will be the winner.
Yeah, I'll find it.
I think that the prize tonight is going to be a Chibitronics starter kit that you also get the little freebie, this little thing I showed off. I think that's the best gift, because if you don't have a feather, it's kind of...
Okay.
So you will win one of these awesome Chibi lights. This is great. You get a sketchbook, LEDs, you get the little gift that you can give away to somebody else. What an awesome present for you and somebody to be creative with and make LED stickers. That's so cool.
All right, and the trivia question for the night is going to be pretty easy. First person to type the code that we've been talking about all night wins. Because then, see, it's nice because everyone gets to see what the code is.
Yep, and then
Yeah.
don't forget, if you won before, you can't win again. Only one per lifetime, so just sit on your
Yeah.
hands if you know the answer and you've won before. Give everybody a chance.
All right, and it's a close one, and it looks like Twitch got it. It's VivderFoot33. You won. Congratulations. The code tonight was MotorFeather. You won. Email support@adafruit.com. Bunk. Okay, congratulations.
Congratulations, Vivder.
Vivder. You won.
Foot.
Yeah, close call.
I know, it's like you can see all of them all at once.
Yeah.
Oh, now we have like bazillions are coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, remember we have a trivia question every single week, so you can enter any week.
Yeah, eventually if you watch it win.
If you watch, eventually you'll just type in some infinite monkey answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. And then
That's it.
photo of a cat.
Yeah.
Did we miss anything?
That's everything.
Well, we're running late.
Yeah, that's everything. We'll see everybody next week. We'll be around.
Bye, everybody. Merry, merry.
Bye bye. One of these buttons stop
Wait.
this. I just want to stop it.
I
I just wanted to stop. All right. Anyways, go get back at us. Thank you, everyone. We'll see everyone next week.
Mary will be here next week.
Yeah, we will.
Don't forget, no 3D Thursday
don't forget
tomorrow.
The code is Motor Feather.
Motor Feather.
Here's your moment of Zener. And yeah, I got a house cat.
Meow.
Meow. All right.